Bluff City Media presents the Two Buck Sports Show with your hosts, Rusty Buckets and Uncle Buck. Now, let's get to the show.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Two Buck Sports Show, brought to you by FanDuel. I was wondering why my colleague and co-host Drew Gann had taken himself off the stage, and that makes sense. That's still why. Now, I am Rusty Buckets, your co-host, checking in live here on this Friday morning from East Memphis with my guy Drew Gann, a.k.a. Santa Claus, apparently.
Santa
Drew,
Buck.
what's going on, buddy? Santa Buck.
I'm good. You know, I've kind of always had this sitting here. I think it's been here since last Christmas, and then you reminded me with the Merry Christmas footer here that I was like, I think 'tis the season to bring out the Santa hat, and this is the only one I have. So, you know, we've got 2 weeks from today, or no, I'm sorry, 2 weeks from yesterday is Christmas. And so maybe I just add one more thing every single show until by the time we get to Christmas Eve or the 23rd, maybe I'm in here in a full-blown Santa outfit. I don't know.
It could work. It could work. You know, I thought I'd be festive. You know, you called me out saying, oh, you're only putting up Halloween, blah, blah, blah. So we got Christmas up, especially inside the 12 days of Christmas. So be on the lookout. This is y'all's warnings that there may be someone in your life, a loved one, a friend, a foe, a family member who might start sending you a whole bunch of birds, much like Andy did to Aaron on The Office. So just be careful out there. It's crazy out in these streets, especially inside the 12 days of Christmas, Drew.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we're the Two Bucks, and it's our sports show. It's the Friday edition of the show on Bluff City Media. I would like to invite everybody right now who's watching on YouTube, X, and Facebook, welcome into the show. And if you're not watching it on YouTube, please come over to YouTube. Give us a thumbs up on the stream. Give us a like, follow, subscribe. Hit the bell there that turns on your notifications so that you don't have to remember when the show goes live every day, even though it's very easy to remember it's 11 o'clock. But even if you forget, hit the bell. We'll let you know.
Yeah, what's up, Jalen? What's up, Wayno? Appreciate y'all being here. We're going to dive right into our buffoonery. We've got breaking news. Ja Morant is now listed as probable. Don't want to bury that lead. We've got buffoonery we always do first before we get to sports. So if you're hopping in here, yes, Ja Morant is probable tonight. It makes sense. 12-12. 12 gave away free tickets to tonight. It kind of made sense that he was going to play tonight, Drew, and we officially have the announcement from the Grizz PR account who pissed me off yesterday. We'll get to that more here in a little bit.
Yeah, I think it pissed everybody off.
Everybody off. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Ja Morant is probable, which means he's trending towards playing. But first,
so guys, be happy.
Yeah.
Be happy.
This is the way. You lose one, you gain. You have to lose one to gain one. That is the way of the Memphis Grizzlies. But before we get to all that,
exact surprise, you know.
Exactly. Before we get to all of that, we do have some Christmas buffoonery we must do first.
This is the Two Buck Sports Show Friday edition of the show. Yes, Wayno, this does make it an old Christmas, I think is how we're going to put it here in the comments. And we're going to start our show with some buffoonery. The hat is not the only buffoonery you're going to get today. As it's Friday, that means it is time for our Big Three. That's where Rusty and I come together. Most of the time it's Rusty. We come up with a topic, something that we can draft more or less, and we pick three of something in this category. So, Rusty, tell them what it is.
This week, we are in the Christmas spirit in light of being inside the 12 days of Christmas. I thought we'd go ahead and give our favorite three Christmas presents that we ever got growing up, that we've been given at any point in our lives. So I thought it would be on brand and festive today. So, Drew, what is your first, not necessarily your best, if you want to give your best of all time, but your first best Christmas gift you've ever been given?
Yeah, well, the first one's pretty easy. The second one, the first one's in a tier to itself. That's for sure. When I was, I don't know, probably 10, 11, 12 years old, one Christmas, my parents bought me a go-kart. And not only did I get a go-kart, which was awesome, that would have been enough, but on the farm where we lived, situated on that farm were houses belonging to two different sets of cousins, and they also got go-karts. And so from that point forward, anywhere on that cattle pasture, there was 4 go-karts just racing turning up mud, throwing cow patties at each other, getting stuck, whatever it was. It was the best Christmas I can remember because we all ate Christmas breakfast. So Santa came to all of our houses, and then we all, like an Amish community, retreated to my aunt's house for breakfast. And so I was like, can I ride my go-kart to Aunt Sandy's house? And they're like, yeah, ride your go-kart. And so Mom and Dad went in the vehicle and took my sisters, and then I rode behind them in the go-kart and pulling it up in Aunt Sandy's house. I saw 3 more go-karts exactly like mine, and it was game on from that point forward.
Yeah, that was me and my brother and my cousin. If one of us got something, you knew all of you were going to get it. Mine was blue, Clark's was red, Jim's was green. So if I opened something blue, Clark would say, I know it's in that box. But for me, it was also a go-kart. My story's a little bit different. My mom woke me up at like 6 a.m. and I was kind of half awake anyway when she came in. But I remember her coming in and being like, Rusty, you need to go outside before your father kills himself. And I was like, all right. So I get up, I get dressed, I walk outside, and I don't see my dad. And I'm like, Mom, where is he? I don't know where he's at. And we had this long gravel driveway, and the gravel looped around to the carport. And about that time, he come by on 2 wheels on a go-kart. And I have this vivid image of him like in a full power slide in the loose gravel, catching in the yard and taking off. And I was like, is that for us? And Mom goes, it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's no doubt. That's no doubt.
So go-kart is like everybody. If you got a go-kart growing up, that's very likely your favorite gift of all time.
Yeah, we're getting my kids electric scooters this year, and their cousin has one, and so I've ridden on it once or twice when we were camping, and it's very possible I ride that scooter around a pretty good bit this year. So
for sure.
Second best Christmas present I ever gotten. Listen, I wear it on a show a lot, and it's my favorite thing my wife's ever gotten me with that throwback Grizzlies hoodie with a quarter. It's a hoodie and a quarter zip, kind of like the sweatsuit material. You know, the throwback Vancouver big Grizzly on the back of it. Yeah, that's it. That's my favorite thing my wife's ever gotten me.
Yeah, I'm wearing. So Maggie got me this shirt and this quarter zip last year. But of all the things she got me last year, I was gonna this Grizzly's head that's over my right shoulder. I don't know what side it is to y'all, but over Stone Cold's head up there. It's just incredibly, like, the detail is really well done. It's carved into the wood. It's the perfect painting. It's the perfect podcast decor. She got me that. The Davis Wade picture that's usually back there that Stone Cold has crept in front of. But just that Grizzly head up there was 10 out of 10. When I like one of my favorite gifts I've ever been given, and one of the best just podcast decor gifts. So shout out to Maggie for that from last year for sure.
Yeah. Wayno in the comments is gonna set it right here. Sorry. He said Castle Grayskull, Nintendo 64. Now that he's older, every Christmas he gets with his dad. The older I get, I'm with you as well. I've got one grandparent left. We won't miss anything. Christmas does remind me. We talk. This has been a recurring thing. I guess it's just the holidays.
We'll talk about it next week. I think next Wednesday we'll give you some of our grandparents' stories that we had talked about for sure.
Cherish your parents. Cherish your grandparents. My parents are now 60, and I think your parents are a little bit older. It's not forgotten on me that nothing's guaranteed anymore with my parents.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got several friends that don't have theirs. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
With that being said, my last one is it my turn?
Yeah, your last one.
Okay.
Then I got one more.
Okay. My last one was a gift given to me the Christmas my Mama Kate died. Mama Kate's a legend in this household. The one thing I would change in my life is that my kids would know her. My wife knew her as remember her. But the Christmas after she died, she was always had these adages, and she would missay things all the time. And she had, like for instance, one time when I was in college, God help her, she was just convinced that I like to drink beer every once in a while. And, back in my wilder days, I regret to say that I lied to her and told her I didn't. But she was smart enough, and she would tell me, she's like, every time you turn up that bottle and take that last drink, I hope you look down that bottle and see my face doing this.
I also had her fooled that if you were hanging out with me, then everything was all right.
Yeah, she's like, I trust you as long as we were with Rusty. I'm like, Rusty's the problem, okay?
Rusty's
but
the
I
one
couldn't say
purchasing the
that, or
beer.
I would be blowing up my own spot here. But my Aunt Mitzi, who is my dad's sister, Mama Kate's daughter, her youngest, got us all rocks. And bear with me, this sounds stupid. It's awesome. But it's a big rock, like a massive rock. I don't know how to say a boulder, a small boulder, big rock, however you want to put it. But she went to a tombstone company where they've got the laser engravers to engrave rocks. And for every grandkid, there's 5 of us on that side, she had asked us what our favorite saying of hers was. And she had it engraved on this huge rock. And then with her signature on it, on the bottom of it. And so that first Christmas, I got bestowed a massive rock that says, a dancing foot and a praying knee don't go on the same leg. Love you, Mama Kate, on it. And
Love that.
And it's a rock. It sounds stupid, but what it is, it's impossible to damage. It's impossible to move. And so I can set it. It's sat on our kitchen counter, and no, the kids can't move it. They're not able enough and strong enough to move it. And I just get to sit there and look at it at all times.
Yeah. I didn't know we were both going to be real sappy and sorrowful in our last one, but this is going to sound a bit morbid and backwards, but bear with me. Like you said, my grandfather, my best friend, the closest family member I've ever had, passed away on Christmas Day, 2016. And I don't want to call it like one of my favorite Christmas presents or anything like that because of what it was. It was hard. It was a tough day. It was a tough Christmas, but it's made Christmas a bit more special because like it helps me to kind of refocus on what's truly impactful. Like you said, like Jared said about his mom, like this will be the 9th Christmas without my grandfather and the 9th one, remembering the anniversary of his passing. But it gave us as a family, one of the things we do now on Christmas is we tell our favorite granddaddy stories just about the time him and my brother were in the car wash back in the day. And my brother was like, I'm bored. And he said, let's turn the radio on. And this is when the antennas would come up and the car wash took it clean off. Or when he said to my Aunt Tina, what's that in your tire? And she goes, what do you mean? And he reached down and he pulled the screw out of the tire. He said, you had a screw in your tire. And the tire just deflates just right in front of it. Just funny stories about him. The time he and I were driving to Florence, Alabama and got hit by a crop duster. And going down the road, you can see like the planes. And then all of a sudden we couldn't see. And it was just all the like the chemicals on the windshield.
In a collision with a crop duster.
No, we got crop dusted. Not in the way but like in the way the chemical way. Well, I guess they're both chemical ways. In the actual liquid. Ooh, that's even getting worse. Anyway, we got hit by a crop duster with herbicide. But more of those stories to come next week. But it truly has made Christmas just different. And so I always make a post about it, real sappy or whatever on Christmas every year. And it's just refocus what the holiday truly is for me and my family, for sure.
So the gift. Is that the gift?
The gift is just
okay.
And I'm like, it's hard to call it a gift, but it's just you get what I'm saying. Like it's reframed the focus. I did get a Nintendo 64 when I was in like the 5th grade or something, and my brother and I thought that was the coolest thing ever because it was the first like big evolution in video games, and I played that Super Mario World until they just wouldn't play anymore.
Yeah.
Just
we
played
played
that thing slap out
on the
Nintendo
wrestling. 64.
Yeah,
I got an Xbox one time for Christmas. So
yeah, I mean, my dad got I got my first deer rifle on Christmas that I still have, and I take care of that thing better than I take care of my own body and other things because it's just such a cherished thing to me because it's it was the first one that I was given. But that's our favorite Christmas gifts. We're gonna talk grandparent stories next week because apparently we're both in that sappy kind of mood. So y'all tune in on Wednesday. But today we got to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies.
Speaking. This is the Friday edition of the $2 Sports Show here on Bluff City Media's YouTube page, as well as Eggs and Rusty's Facebook for all of his old friends. And so if you're watching it any place other than YouTube, I will once again invite you guys to come over to YouTube, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications. If you do nothing else, just hit the thumbs up button. It helps us out a lot. Listen, this is a free show. It will remain free forever. So that is your payment, is to just subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up button every day. So it's easy. What's not easy is rooting for the Memphis Grizzlies. It is very, very hard to root for the Memphis Grizzlies because here we were, Rusty. We were climbing that mountain. We were talking about 500 by January 1st. Yep. And then once again, we are trading injured player for injured player. Ja Morant is probable for tomorrow night's 12-12 game against the Utah Jazz, as Edey will now be in street clothes for at least a month.
Yeah, the next 4 weeks, he's out. Real quick, on FanDuel, you can get the Grizzlies. We do play a game tonight. Let's get this out of the way. Over on FanDuel, you can get the Memphis Grizzlies as a 6-point home favorite. It's now up to 7, I am told, by the Daily Grind as of this morning. I made this last night. Grizzlies are minus 215 on the money line. The player points over under. They got Ja at 19.5, Jaren at 19.5, Cedric at 15.5. And what feels like one of the easier and better bets out there right now, and it may change with Ja coming back, but Jalen's been on a tear lately, and I feel like hitting over on Jalen's 12.5 feels like a pretty safe bet tonight against the Utah Jazz, especially with Edey now being out as Ja comes back, Drew.
Yeah, just regarding those lines before we dive into Edey, there was a real line of demarcation between Jalen Wells sucking and Jalen Wells being awesome. It happened in that Cleveland game in which Cedric was entered into the starting lineup with Zach Edey coming back and Ja Morant. And so hopefully Jalen's success is more Cedric Coward related and not Zach Edey related, but that 12.5 is pretty low considering how good he's been lately. Maybe Vegas projects him to struggle a little bit more with Zach Edey being out.
Yeah, so the line now that Ja has been announced as probable just went to 8 and minus 270 on the money line to win tonight. So it feels like the line has moved. Yeah, the line has moved significantly in our favor, given Ja being out. And yes, plus odds for Jalen to go over 12.5. You get plus 100 right now. So I think I would. Yeah. But yeah, so let's talk about Zach Edey. So Zach Edey was announced yesterday that he's out with a stress reaction, not a stress fracture. So what a stress reaction is they did some imaging, and he told DeMichael tweeted out yesterday that he's only been playing at about 85%. So sidebar, if this has been Edey at 85%, good Lord, what's going to happen when he's 100%?
Right.
But he said he's only felt about 85% since coming back from surgery. And you remember, Drew, he came back early. Like initial timelines were Thanksgiving, early December, and we got him back middle of November. And so he came back early, so I wasn't surprised to find out that he's been sore. Yeah, shout out Jared. You're exactly right. Give me a stress reaction.
I always thought a stress reaction was when you break out in hives because you're nervous.
So what a stress reaction actually is in your body outside of when somebody HR emails you and say, hey, we need to talk. That type of thing.
That's a stress reaction.
Oh, yeah, that's a stress reaction. But a stress reaction around an injury is when they've done some imaging, likely an X-ray, MRI, and there's some swelling or what's called edema in and around the area. So for Edey, they found edema in and around his ankle. Somebody on X popped in my comments on my tweet yesterday and said that this is a precursor to a stress fracture. It can be, but it's not always a precursor to a stress fracture. What likely happened is Edey is 7 foot forever, 300 pounds. He was playing at 85%, came back from an ankle surgery a little early, and is now reaping some of the consequences of that. It's just soreness. It's not going to be anything that lingers for a long time. I think if 4 weeks is going to be it feels about right to give your body time to recover and relax and get some of that edema out. I think that I
got edema in me.
Yeah. I don't know how long this has been going on, so I can't say, I'm glad we caught it early or whatever. But I'm glad we caught it. He's going to be shut down. I don't anticipate, if he's in a boot tonight, don't freak out because it could just be trying to immobilize and keep it stable to allow it to heal. That's not necessarily the end of the world. But it feels like, he's going to be out for the next 4 weeks just when we're starting to get our stride. And this is how it goes. This is the good Lord giveth and the good Lord taketh away as Memphis Grizzly fans. You cannot have somebody get healthy without somebody else becoming not healthy.
This is that meme. It's like, Lord, why are you giving me all your toughest battles? And the Lord looks down and says, how are you still alive?
That's it.
That's the Grizzlies right now.
We are embattled. It's just
Listen.
at some point it's got to change. Because Zach Edey was super healthy across 4 years at Purdue. Never had any injury issues. And then he gets here and he's got them all.
Listen, I have a clean slate with Zach Edey. I don't care what Rusty says. I've spent ever since he's come back singing his praises. Mm-hmm. But there's always been the one thing that he could never fix by being on the court for me were two things. How are you going to hold up in a 7-game series on the pick and roll? And can you quit with the injury time? Like, and he hasn't made it far enough away for me not to just like continue to freak out over foot injuries. It's the same thing over and over.
It's become a Memphis Grizzlies problem because he didn't have this problem at Purdue.
Yeah, but it's a Memphis Grizzlies problem. And I'll talk about the Purdue thing. To me, that's apples and oranges. But it's just a 7'4" thing. We see this all the time. I mean, there is history here, and everybody that wants to say Zach Edey is the exception because of this, and he's the exception because he is the exception in a lot of things. He has been amazing as a 7'4" big man this year, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he has the bone structure of a 6'5" man that can hold up in this. And I'm scared to death of it. I mean, we've made it. We had problems last year with consistent rolled ankles. He's had problems, had to have it surgically repaired to tighten up the ligaments this year. And now the swelling thing, despite playing in every game since then, but he's only made it like 10 games. Maybe I believe that it's just injury management, swelling, and all this. But again, when you're putting that much effort and running that much on flippers, something's going to have to give. I mean,
again, you can read into this how you want. You can say, oh, he's off injured and going down the path of some of these former bigs that had issues. Marc Gasol had a Liz Frank and came back and was fine for many years. So it's not always a 7-foot+ problem. What I think is he had no injury issues. You can call it apples and oranges all you want. I understand. Yes, there are more games. There's more games in the NBA. There's whatever. He was actually utilized more at Purdue. But anyway, he got injured last year. He had surgery in the offseason. This is not a new injury. This is not a re-injury. This is simply his body's way of healing itself, which our bodies have been doing for thousands of years. When something's wrong, your body sends fluid, sends swelling, sends edema
I get all
so that you can get healing, needed chemicals and nutrients in there to heal the joint. This is not a new injury.
He will heal.
Hang on.
He will heal. I worry about how easy it is to get hurt.
This is what you call a continued plan of care. This is all within the same realm. This is not a new thing, and it's just part of healing. They're shutting him down. Listen, I'm not saying, and I'm wholly against tanking, but I'm not going to sit here and say that we're not doing some variation of a soft tank.
Okay. I want to talk about that. But I do want to justify my comment from just a second ago about the apples and oranges. What I was referring to was the people that say, oh, he played 4 years at Purdue and only missed one game. It's like, one, if you watched any of that Purdue, it was a half-court game in which he stood in the paint. He's obviously doing a lot more in the NBA physically at a higher rate of speed and more often in the NBA than he was at Purdue. So it's apples and oranges. Regarding the soft tank, I can't believe that I'm the one that's saying that there's no way this is a soft tank when you're the one that's saying this is just strictly injury management and not faking it. Saying this is a soft tank implies that this is an injury you could probably play through.
It could be. It honestly could be because he has been for the last few games. All I'm saying is when you're doing – I'm not saying that's what we're doing. That's not what I'm advocating for. Don't hear what I'm not saying.
No,
I don't think we're tanking and we're not going to tank. But if you were, hypothetically, going to do a soft tank and you just watched Oklahoma City beat the snot out of the Suns, you've watched and seen Cam Boozer's having a good year, Dabansta from BYU, Dabansta from BYU's having a good year. I knew as soon as I said it, I don't even know. Dabansta is having a really good year at BYU. If you were going to do a soft tank, you slow roll injuries. You shut guys down. But I'm not saying that's what we're doing. I'm just saying if you were, hypothetically, that's what you would do in a soft
Yeah,
tank.
I don't think that this is a move to better your draft odds. Not when you've won 7 out of 9 or 9 out of 11, whatever it's been. You're just
Agreed.
now getting John Morant back. And is it Mark Bartlestein, who's his agent, came out and said, like, this was planned to prevent future injury. This is what we're having to do to get him back before something bad happens. I don't think this is a slow tank. If it was a slow tank or any signs of tank at all, I would revolt. I'm
agreed.
actually on team climbing on this one. Like, if this is just what you have to do to get him healthy down the stretch run, I guess you've got to do it. But it just sucks because I'm not 100% convinced we've not yet seen 20-plus game stretch of him healthy playing in this role in this.
Well, we could have last year, but we're gonna leave that conversation.
That's why I added that at the end. And
but what I will say is his agent's comments yesterday that Shams tweeted out did make me feel a bit like this had almost even been planned. That like we knew there was going to be a time where especially with him coming back early, we needed some juice. We needed him to play with Ja some. Obviously, we could have known that Ja was going to get hurt in the same game that Edey came back. But it almost sounds like this was a planned, like almost like PTO. Like this is a planned PTO. Maybe this was coming up that they were going to shut him down a little bit. Maybe the swelling got more. And so instead of it being just a couple of games, they have to report it. So they reported it as a 4-week stint. And so I'm not overly concerned about it. I don't think we're not tanking. We're not going to tank. That's just not our MO because you can't get off that snide. Look at Washington, look at Charlotte and the Jazz, and they ain't even getting the first overall pick. The people getting the first overall pick, the Spurs Mavericks, were one game outside of the play-in last year.
Right.
But I'm not overly concerned. I think 4 weeks, our schedule is very gettable over the next 4 weeks. Yes, you got Oklahoma City, you got the Lakers twice, you got the Spurs, but there's a lot of winnable games in there that I think we can get without Zach Edey.
All right, I think you just hold on a second. I started these from earlier. Let's this is kind of, if you want to say that slow tank, this is the reason why. It's like 4 weeks was that was the first thing that kind of put my alarm bells. I was like, 4 weeks for swelling seems excessive.
Agreed. It does. And like to almost to like give you a little bit even more credence to your argument, he's a 7-foot+ center with a lower extremity injury. So I anticipate them being really cautious with this.
I would love to see some history, and maybe this is something you can research as the PT, but I'd love to see some history of anybody. We'll set it at 7-2 because I do believe there's a line there when you look at history, like the Bill Waltons, the Yao Mings, the Greg Odens that pop in your head for foot injuries for guys being freakishly tall. Is there somebody that I can cling to for hope that says early in their career they develop foot injuries and they're over 7'1" or 7'2", and then once it was fixed, they were good. They didn't repeat, because you hear people that Greg Oden's career did not even get off the floor because he just couldn't stay healthy. Same thing with Bill Walton. Same thing with Yao Ming had an MVP
we finally
career,
we got good news. I'll look into that. Like I hear what you're saying. I'll look into that. The Memphis Grizzlies have assigned Brandon Clark to the Memphis Hustle for practice today.
God.
Clark will be recalled to the Grizzlies following the Hustle practice today. Let's go. Finally, some good news. We're getting some positive news about Brandon Clark just when we need it in the post, for sure. For sure.
Speaking of the post.
Hang on real quick before coming off of that. We're going to take whatever picks we get in the draft, as Jalen says here. The Grizzlies have never tanked. And Zach Kleiman has shown a propensity to trade up to the spot that he wants to go get somebody. He didn't trade up to get Zaire. He traded up to get Franz. Franz left, and we panicked and drafted him. We traded up to get Cedric Coward. So, no, we're not going to tank to try and get the first overall pick when we have a stockpile of picks and some dudes who are tradable that we could trade up in the draft should we choose to.
Yeah, I think the Grizzlies have only tanked one time, and that was in 2018. And that was Chris Wallace, when we had the worst record in the league and fell to the 4th pick, and we got Jaren Jackson Jr.
Got Jaren.
Who do you want to start? Who do you want to start at center to bring up Wayno?
Yes, this. I think
Co-sign that.
I co-sign this. Put Santi at the 4, Jaron at the 5, and let Jock. Because Jock has proven, like, and I know he's going to start tonight. Like, I hear that. I get it. But, like, Jock has proven to be a very valuable off-the-bench center. So Maggie and I were talking about that the other night. She said, what do you think about Jock? And, like, how's Jock evolved? And I was like, he's finally doing what we need him to do. Playing 15, 18 minutes, playing really hard in that time, and we're not asking him to do too much. And so I think if smart money leaves him on the bench, and I know the Jaron haters are getting their pitchforks and their flamethrowers ready, but put him at the put Jaron at the center and Santi at the 4.
Yeah. I'm with you on that just because I don't want to see Jock playing 28, 25, 30 minutes.
It's just not good. Like anything over 20 is not good. That's when that's the demarcation of diminishing returns. It's good until about 20 minutes and then it just falls off.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. For sure.
But yes, great news, big news. BC is coming back. As Wayno had got me here with the BG. It is Christmas. BC coming back. This is great news for him. DeMichael tweeted out this morning that there were some positive signs from Brandon Clark as he was getting out and doing some dunks and getting some layups in practice. And you could see it in the background of some videos. But Brandon Clark going to practice with the hustle is a really good sign for this basketball team.
I agree. That's really the only thing that you could do. Hey, baby, you want to say Merry Christmas to Rusty real quick?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh. You're live. Say it.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
There we go. He said Merry Christmas. You leaving?
But tonight we have other games tonight. The Bulls are a 3.5-point favorite on FanDuel over the Hornets. The Hawks are a 6.5-point road underdog at Detroit. The Pacers travel to Philly where they are a 7.5-point road underdog as well. And then the Warriors are a 2-point favorite over the Wolves at home over on FanDuel in other NBA action tonight. No other massive games tonight. That Wolves-Warriors game is 2 teams with a winning record. It'll be a good game. That Hawks-Pistons game should be pretty good. But the biggest one tonight, listen, go out, get a win tonight. Ja come back and do Ja things. We're going to learn a lot about both of our superstars over the next 4 weeks, right?
Yep.
With Edey being out, can Jaren step up? Finally, his shots start to fall. Jaren get back to being the isolation demon that he once was. Can the offense continue to click with Ja, or is Ja slowing it down and Ja having issues with this offense? So I need to see some positive returns from both of our superstars tonight, Drew, in this game against the Jazz.
Yeah, listen, it's the thing that's so maddening about all this is because Ja Morant is the best player on this team. He should be featured correctly. I've talked about how he is the most important player on this team, despite how good Zach Edey has been. With Ja Morant, he's got to come in and fit in. And instead of getting Ja Morant and getting in and being the alpha and letting Edey figure it out and see how they work together, we're again flipping it on its head again. And unfortunately, we've seen this so far this year, and so something's going to have to change. What we were doing before Zach Edey came into the rotation and Ja Morant got hurt, we're going to have to do something different. We can't just go back to how we started the seation. And so it's very interesting to see what's going to happen. It sucks for Ja right now because he cannot come in and just coast in and get his sea legs back. He's got to come in and be amazing. And thankfully, you've seen Ja when he comes back off of injury several times be awesome. I mean, score mid-30s and be a great and efficient scorer, a superstar in this league immediately after coming back from injury. So, but what sucks is that you've got to have that. There is no situation in which the Grizzlies go on a run or continue this trajectory unless Ja Morant is awesome.
And my thoughts on this, buddy, it's not the excuses of what's going to happen when we finally get healthy are done.
Yeah,
we're clearly never going to be healthy. So, we're going to have to gauge Ja in this system as is, because we may
still
never
don't even know what number Ty Jerome is.
No, and we may never truly see a fully healthy Grizz squad. Drew, I'm trying to the last time I remember us being fully healthy with our dudes was the 21-22 season, and you saw what happened then. It was incredible. But since then, we're on a historic run of injury, bad luck, bad whatever, juju, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So I'm done saying, well, I'm going to give Ja and Jaren a pass until everybody's healthy. because it's not going to happen. So go win with what you got. If you're truly superstars who can carry this team, I'm looking at you 12-8, then go win some games and be the superstars that you need to be, that you can be and you should be for what we're paying you, be what you are talented enough to do. I'm done giving passes until we're healthy.
Yeah, we talked about this going into the season. I'm done talking about, well, when we get healthy, we could be this. Like, no, we're just going to have to be good. Like, I don't care, and we're just going to have to win games. However you do it, whether it's – and it can't even be John Conchar anymore. We lost him too.
Yeah. And there's still a world where, like, for the rest of the year, Edey will be back kind of the second week in January is that 4-week mark. But through the rest of the year, we've got the Jazz tonight, at LA, at Minnesota, the Wizards at home are our next 4 games. You've got to go 3-1 at worst in that stretch. Those are 4 gettable games, but Minnesota is a good team and they have a winning record. And Tomas Isolo is 1 in a billion against teams with winning records. So you got to go 3-1 there, because then you play Oklahoma City, schedule loss. Then you've got the Jazz, the Bucks, the Wizards, and the Sixers to close out 2025. If you can finish with, like, we're 7-3 since Zach Edey came back. He's out now. If you can carry that with losing at Oklahoma City and say it's Minnesota, you drop that game too, because again, Tomas can't beat a team with a winning record. Like, you still can end the season north of 500 and in a good position with Brandon Clark coming back, Edey getting reevaluated, end of the year,
not the season. Yeah,
sorry, end of the year. Edey being reevaluated, getting BC back. I think we'll start getting some news about Ty Jerome's return probably early January. Like, you're still in that same position where you can be 500 or better, but our superstars are going to have to be superstars.
Is it just as simple for the starting lineup tonight being Jock or Santi, or is there somebody else you would consider?
No, because the bench unit is playing so well right now. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Santi has shown a more ability to kind of be a starter, be a bench guy. I wouldn't put KCP in. I haven't seen enough of GG. I wouldn't start Jock. Like, for me, it would be Santi at the 4. Did you have somebody else in mind?
I mean, I would float the idea of Camp Spencer just to give another shooter out there, but I think he has firmly planted himself in as the backup point guard.
Because who would you bench for him from the starting lineup? Jalen?
You would just go small, and that would be you would sacrifice point of attack defense on the backcourt. But
I do want more Omax. I do want more Omax.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody's going to stump for him starting. Vince Williams Jr. would be the other one. If you want to put him beside Ja and then shift Cedric down to the 3 and Jaren down to the 5, maybe.
Nah, I think a Ja, Jalen, Cedric, Santi, Jaren gives you offense and defense both in the post and in the backcourt, and I think that's going to be the best thing we can throw out. Especially against the Jazz team. The Jazz, like, we got to have somebody out there. Might as well throw Santi on Super Santi. His Jazz team's not that good. So, like, just see what happens, right? You're going to need some size against the Clippers, but against this Jazz team, you can throw out a lineup like that that's very athletic, defends really well. Not necessarily the best offensive lineup that we could have, but it's the Jazz. Like, you should be able to go out and beat them.
Well, if you put Jock in, it's an offensive lineup. So
not offensive, but offensive for sure.
Thank you for explaining that to the people who aren't smart enough.
Listen, I know our crowd here in the comments. Let's put it that way.
Hey, I think y'all are geniuses.
Yeah.
As long as you agree with
Christmas. Exactly. Here it is. But listen, the Grizzlies play tonight. Need to get a big win. Winning cures all, and it won't fill the Edey size hole in our hearts, but it will at least go some length to helping us feel better if you can get a win over the Jazz tonight. But Drew, it is the season of college football, and the college football gods giveth and taketh away as well, just like the basketball gods. We got the announcement of the SEC's football schedule for next year, and buddy, it's going to be a whole new ball game next year. Right after this commercial break, we'll break that down and so much more.
In Memphis, we know a thing or two about resilience. From the grindhouse to the Delta, we protect what's ours. But when pests invade your home, It's time to fight back. Grade A Pest knows how to handle what crawls, flies, and bites. With local experience and guaranteed results.
I'm Reggie with Grade A Pest Control. We service the Memphis metro area. That also includes DeSoto and Fayette County as well.
Grade A Pest has the entire Mid-South covered. So if bugs and pests put you to the test, let Grade A solve your problem.
This is the most accomplished hire in Memphis football history, just looking at the resume.
One of the biggest things that he said was, why Memphis? And he was like, why not Memphis? When he was asked, why are you here? His answer was simply, I'm here to win a championship. There was no fluff behind anything he was saying.
One of my favorite things he said was just talking about embracing what the city of Memphis is. The value of winning, you can't put a number on it, because when people go to the game and they leave, they're going to go get something to eat. They're going to go get gas. The role isn't just about winning championships. The role of this Memphis Tigers football team is to just create more positive things. He even brought up how public schools in the city could be better funded if the University of Memphis football team wins games. And that's so cool for someone to be that aware of what their job is. But it's so cool to see someone understand from day one. He just landed in Memphis and he already understands.
Tune in to On Beat with BCM live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. for the most in-depth look into Memphis Tiger athletics. In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
Welcome back to the $2 Sports Show Friday edition of the show. We started this show talking about our favorite Christmas gifts in our Friday edition of the Bucks Big Three. Then we talked about the Memphis Grizzlies and how they can't stop getting injured. And now we're going to talk about what will happen next year in the SEC with a lot of injuries going to happen. I imagine next year at the end of this 9-game season, we're going to have a lot of SEC teams that are currently having the same conversation that Grizz fans are having right now. If we could just get healthy.
I mean, that's it. Like, you saw Alabama's beat you-know-what and back, and they had 2 byes this year. Next year, we got 9 conference games and only 1 bye week next year. But we did have a little bit of breaking news I did want to talk about really quick. Speaking of Alabama and our sponsors, our show is brought to you by FanDuel and Grind City Brewing. Grind City Brewing is building a new amphitheater out in front of their venue, Drew, and they announced their first big concert for the spring. And if you music heads like we are, this is a huge get. It's the Alabama Shakes are coming.
I was about to say Alabama Shakes.
Buddy.
You set it up.
They're incredible.
Come on, Brittany.
That's, I mean, they can freaking jam. They can sing. Incredible get, incredible band. But they announced on their socials, on Instagram, that the Alabama Shakes will be there April 22nd at Grind City Brewing's
That's
new
awesome.
amphitheater. That's a huge
Brittany
get.
Howard is a woman possessed for Alabama Shakes. Yeah.
I mean, like, there are people, like, when you look, like, Tom Brady was born to play quarterback. Dale Earnhardt Sr. was born to drive race cars. Brittany was born to sing, buddy. Like, she can just flat out sing with this big voice, great personality, a great show. I will be there April 22nd for the Alabama Shakes.
Absolutely.
What a huge get.
That's awesome.
Huge get. Yeah. Shout out to them. But speaking of Alabama, as we kind of buried the lead a little bit, but wanted to get that breaking news on here because that's incredible. The SEC schedule next year is going to be a gauntlet. If it wasn't already, I mean, Mississippi State this year played 7 ranked teams, ran through an absolute brutal schedule. And gone are the days of Missouri and Ole Miss getting cakewalks to the end of their schedule. Like everybody has tough schedules next year. You've got 1 bye week, 9 conference games. You're playing 1 other P4 school, a G5 school, and then an FCS. Like it's a brutal schedule, Drew.
Yeah, listen, this is something Kirby Smart talked about after the SEC championship game. We talked about it on the show, and he's never been more right. Kirby Smart, if you hate Georgia, you have every right to be. Kirby Smart he knows what he's talking about, and what he said after that SEC championship game, in which Alabama got dominated by Georgia, he said this was a 9th SEC game. Look at us, and it's going to be absolutely brutal. Listen, this is. As Mr. Consumer here, I love more competitive football. I take that. I will take another SEC game. It makes an extra Saturday more fun. You're not you eliminate one of your 4 Saturdays in which you couldn't care less if you watched your team or not. You know, Ole Miss is not going to play Georgia Southern and the Citadel this year. Instead, you're going to get an extra SEC game. The other side of that is that you are going to have a murderer's row. The SEC was full of parity. Nobody was undefeated. Everybody had an SEC loss by the end of it. And you're just adding another SEC game into that. And you've got to assume that you have it in writing. The SEC Commissioner, Greg Sankey, has to have it in writing. Like, listen, you cannot punish us for our champion or our nomination or our at-large teams having one more loss than somebody else and punishing us for it, because we're giving the networks what they want. We're giving the fans what they want. But, buddy, it's going to exact a toll.
It is. And a 9-3 Texas team this year, if you're 9-3 next year with this conference schedule,
absolutely,
you are absolutely in the playoffs over a 10-2 Notre Dame or Miami or some of these schools who didn't play quite the same strength of schedule, because all of our strength of schedules are going to go up another rung. Because shout out to the SEC.
Stat to that.
What's that?
All right. So, and if anybody wants to make this SEC versus Big Ten versus Big 12 conversation, this year, the top 25 toughest schedules in the college football, 13 were in the SEC, 13 out of 16 teams. The Big 12, with their 9 league schedules, again, this was an 8-game schedule for the SEC, had 13 of the top 25. The Big 12 had 9 league games. They had 1 in the top 25. And the Big 10, with their 9 league games, had 9. So the SEC had 4 more teams in the top 25 with 1 fewer league game than the Big 10.
But shout out to the SEC. Unlike the Big 10 and some of these others, and we are playing some Big 10 teams, there are still some really good non-conference early season games. Alabama and Florida State play again. Arkansas, Utah, Auburn, Baylor. Let's see. There was another one.
Ole Miss
LSU,
and Louisville.
LSU, Clemson, Ole Miss, Louisville State. We traveled to Minnesota, which is cool. We've never played at Minnesota. That's a cool. But they come to Starkville next year. It's a home and home. That's cool. We've never played Minnesota. That's cool. Missouri and Kansas, the border war is back again. Oklahoma, Michigan is still playing. Tennessee, Georgia Tech, Texas, Ohio State. Ohio State comes to Austin next year. So there's still A&M picks up Arizona State, and Vandy plays NC State. So there's still going to be some good non-conference games early in the season. But like, you get into some of these conference schedules, Drew, and I'll throw Mississippi State's up there first. I mean, this is brutal. We've got ULM to start at Minnesota, at South Carolina, and then kicks off this murderer's row where you play Missouri, Alabama. You get a bye week in there, thankfully, but then you travel to LSU, home for Oklahoma, at Texas, to Nashville. Something I never thought I'd say is we're playing Nashville for a tough game. Vanderbilt comes to Starkville, but like, never thought I'd say that's going to be a tough game. But that's a brutal stretch before you get Auburn, who may be better next year under Golish. I mean, we don't know yet. They will likely be better. You get your cupcake, and then you travel to Oxford in what is a brutal. Our bye week is perfectly situated where we need it, but we get a bye week on October the 10th, and then that's it. You're playing football the rest of the calendar. Don't play in week 0, and you don't play on October the 10th, and that's your bye weeks. we've had a brutal schedule the last couple of years. Thankfully, Georgia at least falls off, but we pick up Oklahoma in their stead, who, I don't know if you know this or not, spoiler alert, they're in the college football playoff as well. So it's not like there's a huge drop-off there. You still pick up Oklahoma, college football playoff team. And Ole Miss is not a whole lot different, Drew, with y'all's schedule coming on the screen now.
Yeah, start off. I love starting off in this neutral site game. I wish it was a home and home, but because of the scheduling controversy and having, I believe Wake Forest just decided they didn't want to pick that game up for the return trip. We had to find something, and we had to do a neutral site. So that's going to be Louisville. That's a fun game. Louisville, borderline playoff team, top 20 team all year long.
Jeff Brom's teams are always tough.
I stumped for Jeff Brom. I think he's really good. UT Chattanooga, LSU, which LSU, September the 19th, a hot summer night in Oxford. It's going to probably be a night game, which means there's going to be a ton of drinking in the Grove. Going to get very vitriolic in Vaught Hemingway Stadium for that LSU trip to Oxford this year. It's going to be rough.
I can't wait to see the drone show that night. The drone show might be pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think Ole Miss will feed into the lane stuff, but I do think that there will be an absolute contingent of Ole Miss fans who, out of character, will want to throw stuff. And we've never been that. We're mouthy, but we've never been violent, and I'm really nervous about that game. I would love for like LSU to take an early loss, probably to just kind of take a little bit of the sting out of it, but it's too early in the season. I'm going to be a big Clemson
Those wounds
fan,
are still fresh.
And week one, so
yeah,
and you know he's going to troll too. It's just
he
already
is. He hadn't even stopped.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen, and. You need Ole Miss to be good and need Ole Miss to win that game. Then you go at Florida, and then this is where the one bye week sucks. You've got an early bye week after week 4 during week 5, and then you roll off 8 straight weeks of football, and 7
SEC
straight
football.
7 of those weeks are going to be, or I guess 6 straight of those are SEC games at Vandy, Missouri, at Texas, Auburn, Georgia at home, at Oklahoma, before Wofford, and then Mississippi State at home. A brutal schedule, and I'm not going to do the schedule talk anymore. When you add 9 of the 16 teams, you're only not playing 6 teams in the SEC every year, and then every other year you're going to play every team in the SEC. I'm just not going to complain about schedules anymore, and I don't think anybody should. You can look at strength of schedule, and you can argue amongst other conferences, but as far as SEC goes, it's going to be tough. Everybody's is going to be tough. At the end of it, you're going to look back and be like, oh, well, that ended up not being as tough as you thought, or it was tougher than we thought based on injuries, and you see just how it's going this year. Ole Miss got a good break with South Carolina being bad, Florida being bad, them not taking another step towards progress. You got lucky, and you're going to get that there. But when you're looking forward, listen, I'm not going to judge Ole Miss's schedule versus Mississippi State's, and I'm not going to judge Ole Miss's versus Kentucky. It's like we're all playing non-conference games.
And they're all going to be tough.
The 6 teams you're not playing this year, you're playing next year. And so it just kind of is what it is.
You know, ESPN, SEC Network last night during the show, they did give what they thought were their toughest schedules. Gene Chizik picked Missouri. Roman Harper said Auburn. Cole Kublik said Texas. Dario Nokic said Mississippi State. There are some schedules that are a bit tougher out there this year, but like you said, we thought other schedules were going to be tougher, and then other schedules ended up being more tough because Vanderbilt was better than we even thought they were going to be. I mean, people thought Vanderbilt were still going to be good, but very few people thought they were going to be 10-2 this year. And so, like, you're right. Like, it changes. Like, it's going to change year to year. But on paper, all these schedules are going to be brutal because of what you see. Ole Miss has 6 straight SEC games, 3 of them on the road at hostile environments.
Yeah. Well, and what you can look at, what can be an indicator for strength of schedule, is because there's 9 SEC games, half of the league will play 4 of their SEC games at home, and the other half will play 5 of their SEC games at home, and that'll flip every year. So Ole Miss has 5 SEC home games this year. Next year they'll have 4, and next year they'll drop off Georgia and they'll pick up Alabama. That's what I'm talking about. You can look at the number of home games. Ole Miss has been incredible at home over the last 3 years, with their only loss being to Kentucky at home, which is a bad loss. But the record's the record. So you can look at that as an Ole Miss fan and be like, okay, well, we've got 5 at home. I would rather have that than Mississippi State's 4 at home. But again,
I was mistaken.
Next year it's just going to flip.
I had in my head, for some reason, we were at Vanderbilt, but it is home for Vanderbilt. So we do have 5 as well.
Okay.
Our 5 home games are Missouri, Alabama, Oklahoma, Vandy, and Auburn. And then our road SEC games are South Carolina, LSU, Texas, and Ole Miss.
And again, Mr. Consumer here, we're dropping off a home game to Georgia State. Well, guess what? Your home schedule this year is UT Chattanooga and Wofford, but also LSU, Missouri, Auburn, Georgia, and Mississippi State. That is money well spent for a season ticket holder.
For season ticket holders. And same with Mississippi State. We go back to states. Your season ticket holders get Missouri, Alabama, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, and Auburn, not to mention ULM and Tennessee Tech. I mean, that's good money for season ticket holders. You're going to get to see multiple playoff teams, a fringe playoff team at home next year in Vanderbilt, and who knows what Auburn's going to be.
Ole Miss, Vandy, and who?
Alabama.
Okay. So next year you're going to drop off Missouri, South Carolina, Oklahoma, LSU, Auburn, and Texas, and you'll pick up, Georgia, Kentucky, the other lot. So
yeah.
No Arkansas this year for Mississippi State. That'll be weird.
So we'll probably but that means we'll play them next year. But
now you're definitely going 1-8.
Yeah. Gone are the days though of we play South Carolina pretty regularly, but Mississippi State and Vanderbilt, this will be the 26th time that we have played Vanderbilt in the 112-year history or whatever of the SEC. Only the 26th time we've ever played Vanderbilt. They're not a founding
member though, are they? They came in with Arkansas, right?
Vanderbilt's been
in with Arkansas.
South Carolina.
Oh, I thought that's what you were talking about.
No. I said no. We played South Carolina a lot, but we've only played Vanderbilt 26 times. Sorry, as a co-founding, that weird wording. Co-founding members, Vanderbilt and Mississippi State have only played 26 times in the 112-year history of the conference.
Yeah, I still am mad that the SEC did away with the Ole Miss Vanderbilt Chucky Mullins rivalry and instead put us with Oklahoma. That's a pretty brutal 3 games. Considering the Egg Bowl is always kind of vitriolic, and you got to play it, but I hate it. The other 2 being LSU and Oklahoma is brutal.
But again, this is going to reset in 4 years. Like in 4 years, you'll get 3. You likely get 3
new. It's 4 years though.
Permanents. It is. That's 4 years is a long time.
Coaches get hired and fired twice in 4 years.
4 years, yeah. But again, it's just going to be gone are the days where it might be 10 or 15 years before you see a school again.
Right,
you're going to see everybody in a 4-year period, which is great.
That is good. I like that a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for our show today, Drew. What you doing this weekend? Anything fun?
The wife's going out of town. She's going to a state cheerleading competition for some former students of hers as well as some family friends. She just wanted to go. So she's going. I'll be at home with the kids watching the Grizzlies tonight. Tomorrow, their cousins and my in-laws are wanting to get together and do some Christmas treats and stuff. So I guess I'll be a wagon tomorrow to lug around some kids. And, it's a good day for it. I mean, not much on. This is the time of year where I have to happily oblige the Christmas festivities and not insist on staying at home for football.
Yeah.
So I will keep up with the Army-Navy game, probably watch it on my phone. But I will happily oblige just to give them a win. You got to give them a win when it's feasible.
This is the WAG time where the wives and girlfriends have earned a little bit of credit, right? It's in the interim. We're playing the Grizz are playing the Jazz. Bowl season doesn't truly kick off. The playoffs are over a week away. Now's the time to give back some of that good grace that they've shown us.
And let me tell you what, I've got to bank some this weekend. My wife, I insisted on her going on this trip. I'm insisting on being a good husband and father and son-in-law this weekend because next weekend, Haley's dad's Christmas is Saturday, and Ole Miss is playing in a playoff game, and I'm loading up to throw a fit.
Yeah, exactly. Getting ready for that. But yeah, I'm heading to Corinth here in a little while. I got to go do a tour with a client here in a few minutes, and I'm heading to Corinth. I'm going to watch.
Come by the house.
I probably will tomorrow. Today on my way through, you're on your own. Because tonight Boonville plays at Alcorn Central, so I'm going to go support my brother. But they've got a couple dandy dozen kids on Boonville's team that are just hoopers. The
like 3-time defending state champions, I think, in girls and boys.
Yeah, they've got the Duke twins. Those two dudes, they're like 6'5", 6'6", just straight hoopers. Like those guys are really good. And they've got a younger one who doesn't play, who's like 6'7", but he just hadn't quite become an athletic yet. He's just big. Yeah, he just doesn't know what to do with it yet. So I'm gonna go watch him tonight. And then my aunt moves, so I'm helping her unpack and do some projects and put up some TV mounts on the wall, a few things like that tomorrow. But yeah, so I'll be moving tomorrow as well, doing some stuff, keeping up with some games. But that's going to do it for this week's week of shows. We'll be back live Monday at 11 a.m. I'll be here. Drew will be here. Good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. Live on Monday, hanging out with you, with our favorite friends in the comments.
You were going to say buffoons. You were going to insult them.
No, but we are the buffoons. They are the ones here. So we appreciate it. Appreciate y'all being here. Everybody in the comments on X and YouTube, everybody hanging out. Appreciate y'all being here. In the meantime, this weekend, y'all go be safe. Have a good holiday weekend. Get into some eggnog, holiday festivities, whatever you choose to do, but do it responsibly. And go be a friend of somebody who needs a friend. And Drew, tell them why there are no refunds.
That's right, because with the $2, you always get what you pay for. Have a good, happy, and safe weekend. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Thank you for listening to the $2 Sports Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.